Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. We all have qualities that we are looking for in finding that right person. But do you meet those qualities? Have you even thought that the person that you're with, it could be the wrong person? Today's video is about the red flags that will show you that you're with the wrong person. First red flag is he's moving too soon. You just met this person and he's already telling you how much he loves you. Maybe it's on the first date. There's nothing wrong with somebody telling you that they love you. But when it's on the first date, then there's a whole lot wrong. You just met this person and he's already telling you how much he's so much in love with you. And the next thing, he wants to come and visit you in your house. He suggests to leave a t-shirt or maybe his cap just in case he comes back the next time. If you don't know, he's trying to move in slowly. He's got this sweet tongue that everything he says you'll be convinced. When you look at Job 20 verse 12, it reads, "Though it's sweet in his mouth, it hides under his tongue." Now when you look at this verse, it clearly shows that even though this person is the sweetest person and the most loving person, and everything that he says are the right things, but underneath that tongue, he may not really mean what he's saying. And the next red flag is this person is not God-fearing. You may think just because he goes to church, it doesn't mean you're going to be equally yoked. What are you going to be discussing if he's not God-fearing? Sometimes you may think just by inviting him to church and taking him to church with you, he may pretend he's enjoying it just to please you, and yet he's not. So he will not change until he makes up his mind that he wants to become a Christian. Then that way he will change. If you think you're going to change him, he's never going to change. He'll just remain and pretend like he's a Christian and yet he's not. God wants to raise up kingdom marriages. If you are going to be married to somebody that you're not equally yoked with, what are you going to be discussing with that person? How are you going to serve God with a person that you're not equally yoked with? You may find yourself lukewarm just because you're trying to please that person, because you're not able to discuss the Bible together or discuss anything that is Christian related. If there is things that are happening in your church, you can't even go with him because he doesn't want to be there. And you can literally see that you're forcing this person. So rather to save yourself from this trouble, don't even be involved with a person that is not equally yoked with you. Otherwise, this person will drain you spiritually. And the next red flag is this person has got no fear in the Lord. They've got no issue in lying about everything. He will lie that he's a believer and yet he's not. He's got no relationship with God. Even when he's got a problem, he doesn't take it to God because God is not his priority. In fact, he will go to look for other sources out there to help solve his problem. And those solutions don't come from God. You will notice that he's got a lot of interest in you, not because he loves you, but it's because of the lust in him that he wants to satisfy. He will begin to make those comments that are lust related. In this way, he's testing the water just to see how far you will go, whether you're engaging with this conversation or not with him. And once he sees that you are not interested, he will take a step back and try again, because his mission is to get what he wants. He will even suggest to have sex before marriage, and he will tell you how important that is to him, because he wants to know if you're sexually compatible. When you let it known to him about your sexual purity, that's when he distances himself and he begins to ghost you. This is when you have to thank God for showing you who he really is. Because you don't want to be wasting your time in a relationship with somebody that has got intentions that don't meet your intentions. Set your boundaries from the beginning. Let them know. You'll notice his friends that he hangs out with as well. They have the same beliefs. That is why they say birds of the same feather flock together. When you look at his friends and you see what type of people they are, then you'll know what type of person he is. Sometimes it's very rare that he could be different from them. The next red flag is his phone is always private. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone can receive a call from time to time that is private. But you will notice that when he starts moving away every time he receives those private calls, then there must be something he's hiding. Or maybe his phone is on lock all the time. When the phone rings, he's so quick to answer it because he doesn't want you to see who's calling. He doesn't even want you to touch it. Sometimes he will not even answer the call and he will tell you he knows that it's just one of those call center people trying to promote one thing or another. Just know that there's something wrong. Maybe he could be married, or maybe he's got a relationship out there and you are just that other woman. This is when you have to check his social media page. See who he's following and who are his followers, and check his comments as well. What is he posting? All these things, they say it all. And the next red flag is he's too jealous. Now, jealousy is something that you should not tolerate. This is a person that is so obsessed with you. Every time he's checking on you and every time he's calling on you. Sometimes he will even ask you who's laughing in the background when you're answering his phone. You have to explain to him that no, it's just somebody passing by, or maybe it's just somebody random that you don't even know. He will tell you he doesn't like your friends. Your friends are not good enough. He's the only one that is good enough for you because they're jealous about our relationship. And you believe that because he's too sensitive as well. He's too sensitive about everything that is personal. You feel like you're walking on eggshells whenever you have a conversation with him. Such people have got those abusive traces in them. They can be controlling as well. He may tell you you're the only woman in his life and he cannot live without you. This is a whole grown man telling you he cannot live without you. He's been living before, suddenly he tells you he cannot live without you. I feel like this is a whole guilt trip here whenever he wants to excuse himself from his behavior. When you start seeing these signs, they don't start overnight. They start slowly. This is a person that in the beginning of the relationship, he is such a wonderful person. Because he's such a Prince Charming, you think you always want to make it work. You think you always want to please him and do whatever that he says he wants you to do. He's trying to manipulate you. Set your boundaries. Don't let their guilt trip manipulate you. And the next red flag that you will see is you will have no peace. As much as he's a Prince Charming, he's wonderful, he does everything, but when you do not have that peace, then God may be speaking to you that this person is not the right person for you. He's just trying to cover up by doing all these nice things for you so that you can see more of his good side than the bad side. And yet he's on mission until he gets what he wants, then that's when he clearly shows the bad side. That is when you forget all the good things that he's done. When you have no peace with such a person, your spirit is telling you that stay away from this person. But most of the time, we ignore that. We ignore what our spirits are telling us. So pay attention to such signs. And the next red flag is your friends as well will confirm to you what your spirit is telling you. They will have doubts about this person. Your family will tell you, and even your friend, but you don't want to listen because he's the type that whenever he does something that is so wrong, he comes back with a box of chocolate, or he comes back with this new dress or this new handbag or new shoe. And you choose your life over material things because he knows that he's going to be emotionally abusive to you, sometimes even physically abusive to you. And once he's finished doing that, he's going to come back with that Gucci handbag that you've always wanted. Sometimes your friends will be able to see what type of person that he is, that you do not see. Your flesh is fighting with your spirit. God may be warning you about that person. Just because you've made up your mind, you won't listen. That is why he will send your family to come and warn you, or your friends. And the next red flag is he starts borrowing money from you. You just met this person. There's nothing wrong if you're a couple and you want to help each other. I remember once my sister was seeing this man, and this relationship was not even up to a month when this guy started borrowing money from my sister. When she told me about this, because she wanted to hear my input, I just told her that there must be something wrong with this man. It's not even up to a month you've just met him and now he wants to borrow money from you. And it's not even a small amount. This man was asking money from my sister for his car tires. And he drives a BMW X5. Just the amount of one tire cost a lot. And I thought to myself, when he bought that car, didn't he think that the tires will cost a lot of money? And now he thinks my sister could be the one to support his lavish lifestyle. When she told me the story, I knew that this man was up to something. And when she told him that she didn't have such an amount even for one tire, he started ghosting her and ignoring her calls. So she was able to see what type of person that she was seeing. So sometimes God will show you in the beginning of the relationship who this person is. Even women do the same thing as well. They will enter a relationship with the men to get what they want. Or sometimes it's because they just want to get over an ex. And the next red flag is this person will always promise you something and they won't deliver. This is a person that will start with small lies. Like, I will come and visit, and they never come. He's always promising and nothing to show for it. When he takes you out in a restaurant, suddenly his wallet is missing, or maybe he's forgotten it at home, or maybe his card declines. He will even have an answer for that. That is gone past his daily limit. These people are real and they've got so many tricks and they will get away with those tricks. And the next red flag is he's got those unrealistic expectations. He may suggest that you don't work and stay home just because he doesn't want you to be exposed to people out there. Sometimes he can afford to provide for you and he would provide for you in order for you to be at home. But when you are single and not married to him, this is not an option that you should opt for. Because that option comes at the price and you'll be the one paying for it in the long run. He will isolate you from your friends and your family members. He's paying for everything. He's making the decisions. You will have no say. He will even tell you he doesn't want your friends to come and visit because he's paying for the accommodation. Those things come with the price. The next red flag is criticism. This is a person that's always criticizing other people because he wants you to see them as if they are the perfect ones. It's always somebody's fault. It's never his fault. He's always even blaming you for the way he behaves. That you are the cause in order for you to feel guilty about it. Especially if he's done something wrong and he wants to shift the blame on you in order for you to feel guilty. He will criticize everyone around. When you try to find out about their past relationships, they will always have an answer and blame their ex because they are the honest ones. It will always be the ex's fault and they are never at fault. And the next red flag is you are always the one driving this relationship. You're the only one checking on him. You're the only one pleasing him. It's always one-sided. You're always sacrificing your time and your effort to be with him. You even go as far as praying for him to change. You're praying for somebody that God has not ordained you to be with. You're the one trying to pray for him to change into a better person. Then this is not the person that God has for you. God will bring you somebody that you do not have to even work hard for them to change. Sometimes God will even show you the type of person that you are with. That is why he's showing you these red flags. But most of the time we don't want to listen. Instead, we're praying for them to change. Until God changes them, you can never change them. Don't try and mold somebody that doesn't need to be molded, that only needs God. God is the only one that can mold them into his perfection. You cannot mold them. He's not your life partner. The next red flag is he's not responsible. This is a person that you'll notice that they're not reliable. They cannot lead you and they cannot make decisions. Sometimes you'll even ask them for a suggestion and they will not even make an effort in contributing. You can even clearly see that they're not interested in this conversation. When you are with somebody that is interested in you, he's also interested in your opinion. This is a person that will have a conversation with you and give you suggestions that are going to build you. Sometimes these people don't even take life seriously in terms of work or maybe life. You're always the one working and they are draining you with their problems instead. They are not committing themselves in order to establish their own goals. Most of the time when they're faced with a problem, they don't focus on finding a solution, but they are focusing on finding somebody to blame for that problem. He won't take that responsibility. Instead, he'll view himself as a victim of circumstances. You need a person that's responsible and will take those responsibilities and actions rather than blaming somebody else for them. You don't want a person that is going to drain you. Talk to him about his attitude. If he doesn't want to change, then emotionally you'll be drained. You need to remove yourself from such people. Thank you for watching. If this is content that you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. God bless you.